Hi guys! Today we're going to be making oatmeal cookies.
Show them.
We're going to be making it with Quaker Oats. And these cookies are for my mom's breast milk supply because, as you know, she is pumping. Okay, now let's get to it.
You're making oatmeal cookie for your mom?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So, you want me to put this down so they can see?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
like this?
yes.
You want me to put more or
no,
it's perfect? Okay.
So here we're going to be mixing up the butter and the sugar and the vanilla and eggs. So here I've got 1 cup of white sugar, granulated white sugar. This is supposed to be 1 cup of packed brown sugar, but I packed it in the measuring cup. So right now it's there's air in between, but that's fine. Here I've got one small stick, so it's half a cup of butter at room temperature, and it said 1 whole cup of butter. But to make the oatmeal cookies less stiff, you substitute the other half cup for a half cup of vegetable oil, and I'll be adding that to the dry ingredients. Here we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 eggs. So first I'm going to be adding in the butter and whisking it in. So here's the whisk. It's still a little stiff, but that'll be fine. So I'm going to heat it up a little. A little trick is to put it in the microwave since it's not breaking down. So here's a bowl, microwave, and as it goes in the microwave, I'll go over the ingredients one more time. Here's the cover because it tends to pop. Okay, so here in the dry bowl, we've got 2 cups of flour. So I'm going over the dry ingredients now. Here, we've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a cup of vegetable oil to substitute the other half cup of butter, and 3 cups of Quaker Oats. We use Quaker Oats because that's the best that we have here, and it's quick oats, so that's good. Okay, so since the butter is in there, we'll go over these ones one more time. So here is 1 cup of white granulated sugar.
Stop it.
Okay.
Be careful.
Sur le Xbox, tu peux mettre ça.
Hein?
Je crois qu'il faudrait commencer le vidéo.
Why?
Parce que c'est complètement long quand même.
That's okay. Keep going. Let's make it interesting. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to make the video a little more interesting, the butter popped. So we'll clean this a little later. Since I had the cover on it, the cover caught everything. So here I'm putting in the butter. Remember, this is half a cup of butter. And now it is melted. Okay, so yes, now we're going to be adding in the white granulated sugar, and this is 1 cup. And we're going to be whisking this in. So, 1 tip.
Can you see the sugar over there when you're mixing? No, can you see?
No.
You don't see?
So I put in the butter and the sugar, and now I'm going to be adding in the brown sugar.
Yeah, we see that.
Okay.
I need to put a little bit down so you can see like this. Okay.
So as you can see, it's getting pretty stiff right now. And that is why we will be adding in eggs. This recipe does not call for any milk. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't call for any milk.
Yeah, because sometimes when you drink milk, the baby have tummy aches, so you don't. Sometimes the tummy stop lactose.
Yeah. And that is also why I'm putting in half a stick of, like half a cup of butter, because if I put in too much, baby's not going to like it. So I put in 1 egg at a time. First egg. No need to separate anything in this recipe. It's both yolk and white friendly, so both. And you need, since I put in hot butter, I'm mixing fast because I don't want the eggs to get scrambled. That happens often. Okay, so now we will be putting in the rest of the ingredients that go into this bowl. So I will be putting in the other egg and the vanilla extract. Again, mixing fast because of the butter, but it should be cool by now. And now for the vanilla. Okay.
What did you put? Vanilla?
So, yeah, I put 1 cup of granulated sugar that was in this, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, half a cup of butter, and 2 eggs. And I'm just mixing this together. And so now we will set this aside. And I will move these out of the way. So now we will be working with most of the dry ingredients. There's
Put this in the sink.
yeah. There's just some vegetable oil that we'll be putting in. Okay. So here we have our dry ingredients. And to make sure there's not too many lumps in our cookies, I'll be using a sifter. So here I'm going to put in the flour in the sifter. And this is so there's not too many lumps. If there's any lumps in the cookies, it won't be too pleasant to bite into a cookie and feel little lumps of flour. And here I've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We don't like to use baking soda because the taste is a little weird.
Like soap. Tastes like soap.
Yes, my mom says it tastes like soap. That's why we don't use baking soda here. And now salt. We don't really have to seed the salt.
How many teaspoons?
1 teaspoon of salt. And now I'm going to take a clean whisk and kind of whisk this together.
Do you see?
So that's all of the ingredients together.
So the videos keep going? Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
And here I'm going to put in the vegetable oil. And keep in mind, half a cup of vegetable oil. And keep in mind that when you're making oatmeal cookies, usually the recipes call for the oatmeal last. I've never encountered a recipe that calls for it first or second or anything, so usually they go in last. Okay.
You show them how it looks like.
See, the bowl is practically clean. So, see, this is the bowl, and this is the whisk. So, all the ingredients are in the whisk. Yes. I will use a spatula to clean the whisk. So when you buy when I have cookie dough like this, normally I want it to be thick so I can kind of mold it with my hands, but this one doesn't have to be thick. I remember with my cousin once we tried to make cookies. The recipe didn't need for them to be thick. We made them too thick and they were hard as rock. So don't make if the recipe says that they shouldn't be too thick, don't make them any thicker than they should be.
Okay, explain what you're doing now.
So now I'll be adding the almost dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. I'm going to be putting, let's say, 1/3 to 1/2 in. And I'll whisk that.
Did you see that?
It should be smooth, very, very smooth by then. And also, if you...
Show them how smooth.
It's not, right now it's not the texture it should be because I still need to add more dry ingredients. But, yeah, it's going to get there. And if you make the mixture too thick, add in some milk. But since this is for my mom's breast milk supply, I won't be adding milk. I'll probably be adding in water if it's too thick.
Yeah, because the milk can make your baby tummy ache.
Yeah, milk is not a good option.
Yeah.
Maybe you can substitute the butter here. I don't know if I think it can be substituted with
I'm
milk
going to
and
make a
butter.
video to show them what kind of milk I'm drinking now.
Yeah, she'll
Not
make.
now. Yeah.
My mom will make a video on the type of milk she's drinking. So here, it's I think ribbon stage where the ribbon slowly fades away when you lift up the batter. So it's like that, and there. So now, for the best part, we'll be adding in the oatmeal. So I'm going to be adding in a little
How
at
many
a time.
cups?
This is 3 cups of oatmeal. If I need to add more, I'll add more because it's not exactly 3, but it should be 3. So I'm adding in a little bit at a time because oatmeal can make quite a mess. So I'd say I'm adding in about 1/4 at a time. 1/3, 1/4 to 1/3 or 1/3 to 1/4.
So for how long are you going to put in the oven?
I'm going to be putting this in the oven until it's firm at the top but still gooey in the inside. So about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to do part 1 and part 2.
Yeah. But we don't need to film it in the oven the whole time either.
Okay.
So I'm going to preheat the oven.
What do you need for the oven?
Huh?
Do you need a pepper and comment ça s'appelle le papier pour les biscuits?
Yes.
Cookie
So
and
we need you're going to line your baking tin
you have to
with
take one thing out. It's gonna be hot.
yeah.
In the oven. When you finish,
This oven takes time to preheat though.
you have to do it quickly because it's gonna be hot.
See, it's getting very stiff now.
The cameras keep going.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's at 14.
14. That's good.
Okay, so we're about done incorporating all of this. To make it easier for me, I'm going to be using a spatula instead of the whisk.
Yeah.
Because the spatula I can fold in. I don't exactly need to, but it's easier.
You show them how it looks like now.
So now it's pretty
Did they
thick.
see that? Okay.
So it's pretty thick now. It's what is it? It's no longer in the ribbon stage. You cannot make a ribbon with this. So it's a little firmer than the figure 8 stage 2, where you can make a figure 8 without it breaking.
So I think we're gonna do more baking video, yeah?
Yep. So now I'm going to put this in the fridge to rest. While the oven is preheating, I'm going to line a tin with a baking sheet and a little bit of oil.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to cover this in plastic wrap.
Keep talking.
I prefer plastic wrap rather than what's it called again?
Aluminium?
A towel.
Towel.
Yeah, because I tend to get towels dirty. And aluminum foil, you just crumple up and throw it away later. But sometimes a towel is better. Like for bread, you use a towel, not aluminum foil, because it's supposed to sit at room temperature in a dark place, I think. Okay. And some people have things made especially for bread for rising and built into their ovens, but we don't have that, so we settle for the paper towel, for the towel. So I'm going to put this in the fridge and let it sit there for as long as it takes for the oven to preheat.
You need to put something in the oven now because it's gonna be hot. Just put everything in the sink if you want.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a little workspace here.
Be careful, touch it before you start. What are you using? I need to buy something for cookie bake, yeah? Yeah.
It makes a lot of noise.
It makes it easier.
Huh?
It makes it easy. Okay. How many minutes over there?
Huh?
Here.
Oh, 17.
That's good. Stop at 20.
Okay.
And what is that?
I'm going to get baking paper.
Okay.
Parchment paper. It's thin wax. I think it has wax on top of it. But it's made so the cookies will not stick to your pan. It's an easy way to do it. You
What
don't
is the
need
name of this?
parchment paper. Parchment paper is the name. Here, I'll show you. It says non-stick oven safe parchment paper.
It's okay. They will know.
Okay.
We'll leave the link below.
Yeah, we'll leave the link below. You can get it at Target, Up and Up. That's the brand, the Target brand. So I'm going to have to trim this because it's a little big. It's kind of hard to get it in.
You can put the cookie and then you trim it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
So much better.
Yeah, it's the cookie first
There.
and then you fry it.
Yeah, we'll leave it like this. When the cookies go in, it'll weigh them down. I've had this problem a few times, but it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So we can
I'm
just
gonna
leave it
buy
like
the
this.
cookie sheet. I don't have cookie sheet yet.
Wait,
So we're gonna buy cookie sheet. You know, for bake the cookie, to plug the next with the school.
a baking mat?
You're gonna buy that. When you go to store, tell me to buy that.
Okay.
Because this one is for lasagna.
Okay, so I'll have to ask. I'm going to have to leave. And we're going to wait for the oven to preheat, and we'll show you the end result of the cookies.
What do you use to put the cookie inside? Show them. They look
And we have,
easy one.
oh, and quickly we have a little tool. to
Ice
put
cream.
cookies in. It's like an ice cream scoop.
Ice
It
cream.
puts, it is?
Yeah.
Well, if it,
Show them. Take
Is-
one
is-
and pour. How easy.
it's for batter. So, I got it at the Bed Bath & Beyond in the, in the cupcake aisle. So just as an example, you take a little bit of batter. Normally batter sticks to the spoon and you need to scrape it out, but this one is easy. And it just comes out easily. So it's not very hard. You pick up the batter, you make sure it's all in there so it doesn't fall out or anything, and it's not too little, too much. And you go like that, and it falls out. It's very, very easy.
So for how long you, how many degrees you put your oven?
375 degrees.
Tell them.
So I have the oven at 375 degrees. The cookies are going to stay in there for 15 to 20 minutes. And we'll see how they turn out. And yeah. And they're going to stay in the oven from the time that I'm done preparing to the time when the oven heats up. Our oven takes quite a long time, so they'll get some time to rest. Okay, so since this video has been like 21 minutes long,
Okay,
I'm going to have
goodbye.
to say goodbye and see you later, and you'll see how the cookies turn out. So you're going to have to like and subscribe, and we'll see you later in number 2.